So, Sean O'Malley's performance against Merab Dvalishvili was quite shit. I think we can all agree that it wasn't the best of Sean O'Malley. He didn't look really up to scratch. And all credit to Merab. He did a fantastic job of completely shutting down Sean O'Malley and not letting him get off much success completely. The only times he really had success was in the third and fifth round. In that fifth round where Merab got hurt to the stomach, got a little bellyache, you know, from a little kick to the stomach. But other than that, Merab was completely dominating Sean O'Malley. But now that Merab's champion and it's looking very likely that he's going to be fighting either Umar Nurmagomedov or Deiveson Figueiredo next, I want to talk about what Sean O'Malley should do next. Now for O'Malley, I feel like there's two clear pathways. He either stays at 135 and tries to get the title again, or he tries something completely different and move on up to the 145 division and maybe try and win the title at the featherweight division. You know, he's teased us a few times and maybe now's the time to move on up to the 145 division. So to let you know what I'm going to do, I'm going to list the potential of opponents at 135 and a potential of opponents at 145. At 135 we have Corey Sandhagen, Peter Yan the rematch, we have Henry Cejudo, and we have Jose Aldo. At 145, we have Yair Rodriguez, Arnold Allen, the winner of Aljo and Movsar, or the loser of Ilya and Max Holloway. So we'll first start off with Corey Sandhagen, and I think this is a fight that every MMA fan wants to see. Everyone wants to see the striking displayed between Sean O'Malley and Corey Sandhagen, but not only that, Corey Sandhagen has a bit more to him because he'll mix in takedowns like he proved against Rob Font. He's not afraid to mix in takedowns and use his grappling against opponents, and it's safe to say that Corey Sandhagen has better offensive grappling than Sean O'Malley. When it comes to defensive grappling, we're not quite sure, but when it comes to just pure striking, this would be a very fun fight. And not only that, both of these guys are quite tall and rangy for the 135 division, so it'll be a very fun fight to watch happen. We then have Peter Yan the rematch. I think this is the most unlikely. I wouldn't mind this fight. The first fight was an absolute banger and it was very, very close. But I just don't know if we need to see this again. There's rumblings of Peter Yan taking on Deiveson Figueiredo in December, I believe. So would this fight happen? I don't really think so. I know Peter Yan wants this rematch, of course he does. He was on the wrong side of the result. You know, he got the loss from this fight. So of course he would want to run it back with Sean O'Malley. And I'm not against it. I love both fighters. I love Peter Yan lots. Everyone knows this. I'm very biased for Peter Yan. And I'd love to see this fight. I just don't know if now is the right time for it. We then have Henry Cejudo. And I feel like Henry Cejudo is the best fight for him. People, you know, the Dana White of the UFC want Sean O'Malley to be this big star, and I feel like a fight against Henry Cejudo, if he's going to stay in the 135 division, would be perfect for that. There'll be a lot of build up to this. We both don't like each other. There's already a bit of content there when it comes to, you know, these two not liking each other and building the fight off of that. I feel like there will be a fair bit of trash talking. They've both lost to Merab. You know, Aljo beat Henry Cejudo. He couldn't beat Sean O'Malley. That would be another thing that Sean O'Malley would pick it, Henry Cejudo. So we could have a clear back and forth. It's completely different styles. You know, Henry Cejudo a grappler, Sean O'Malley a striker. You put O'Malley in there against another grappler, and if he's able to get past Cejudo, which I believe he would do, then he's just shown that it helps him a lot more when it comes to his defensive grappling and beating another wrestler. As he just proved against, you know, Merab, he wasn't able to do much when it came to stuffing the takedowns. Maybe he can redeem himself against Henry Cejudo in that aspect. And then I did say Jose Aldo. I couldn't see this fight happening. This is probably the least one happening. You know, Peter Yan's quiet, I don't think would really happen. But Jose Aldo first has got to get past Mario Batista. And if I didn't really list the winner of Mario Batista and Jose Aldo, because I don't see, if Batista wins, I don't see a Sean O'Malley going against him. Let's be completely honest. I don't see that fight happening. But if Jose Aldo wins, he has a win over Mario Batista and Jonathan Martinez. And I feel like he would deserve, a big bulk up in the rankings, because before he retired, he had wins over Chito Vera, Rob Font, and the somewhat Pedro Munoz. So I feel like he'll deserve getting a top fight. He's a well-established name, a legend of the game. And I feel like this could actually be a fun fight. I think Sean O'Malley would actually get the knockout, which would make me very sad because I love Jose Aldo, but I still would like to see Jose Aldo get this, this big chance at maybe getting a potential championship opportunity in the 135 division. I feel like we were kind of robbed of that back when he was still fighting, and you know, they gave it to TJ Dillashaw instead. I'd love to see Jose Aldo possibly get a title opportunity in the 135 division. And now we move on to the other path, which is if he goes up to the 145 division. Let's start off with Yair Rodriguez. This would be a very exciting fight. This would not touch the canvas unless one of them got knocked down and went for the ground and pound finish. This would be a very, very exciting fight, a very fun fight, guaranteed banger. You know, Yair Rodriguez, very unorthodox, explosive. You don't know what's coming, very unpredictable, very calculated, a very solid fighter. Coming off a loss against Brian Ortega, which is, I don't think, you know, I feel like that was a very stinky loss, I'll be honest. Yair Rodriguez really shouldn't have lost that fight after getting like a 10-8 in the first round. And Brian Ortega, I think, rolling his ankle like just before he started to fight. So he really shouldn't have lost that, and he did. You know, this would be a good way maybe to introduce Sean O'Malley into the 145 division. Yair Rodriguez, I'm not going to say a well-established name, but a lot of MMA, a few MMA casuals are aware who Yair Rodriguez is. And again, it'll just be an absolute banger and a good way to introduce him to the 145 division. We'll then go with Arnold Allen. And Arnold Allen, I don't really see this fight happening, but it would make sense if he came up to the 145 division. Arnold Allen, you know, trying to claw his way back to get into a title opportunity. He lost to Max Holloway and Movsar. Very close fight against Movsar. I feel like he deserves a big fight after just kind of winning comfortably against Giga Chikadze. So I think like this would make a lot of sense. Don't think it would happen though. I feel like Sean O'Malley would say, oh, that's, you know, you got to think of it name value wise. That isn't going to do the best pay-per-view wise, in my opinion. We're going to try and give Sean O'Malley another big fight. Obviously, again, they want him to be this big pay-per-view star. I don't feel like they'll go down the road against Arnold Allen, although I do think that'll be an interesting fight. And I do like Arnold Allen. I think this is winnable for both guys, in my opinion. Arnold Allen, a very good fighter. I do feel like, I don't know, I feel like he can't, when he was rushing against Dan Hooker, I feel like if he was to do that against someone like O'Malley, you would pay the price for it. So I feel like it would be a winnable fight for both fighters, and it'll be a very entertaining one. I then went with the winner of Movsar and Aljo. Yes, he has a win against Aljo, but obviously you have all the controversy going into it. Aljo saying, you know, they pretty much forced him to fight like very early on after the Cejudo fight. I believe it was like 2 or 3 months after the Cejudo fight, so it was quite soon for Aljo. You know, it happens at 145, which could make it a bit more interesting. See how Sean O'Malley gets on in the 145 division. We've seen that Aljo did quite well against Calvin Kattar, so this will be quite an interesting one. Again, there's already history there. We can build off of that. There's Aljo's an established name. I feel like this would be an okay fight to put together. Maybe it wouldn't make sense to put it together for O'Malley's first fight at 135. I do agree. I don't think that would be the best ideas, but maybe down the line, I'd like to actually see this rematch at 145. I think that would be pretty cool to see. And then I listed the loser of Max Holloway and Ilia Topuria. Obviously, Sean O'Malley before the fight against Merab was saying he would like to go up to fight either Max Holloway or Ilia Topuria. So this would just make sense if Ilia loses. These two have, you know, talked shit about each other several times. So that'd be quite cool, and it'd be quite a fun fight to watch as well. I think Ilia would beat him, as well as I think Max would beat O'Malley. But regardless, big names right there if you're going to put them together. Don't think, I didn't want to say winner because that just wouldn't be right, that O'Malley loses at 135, loses his title, then moves up to 145 and gets an immediate title shot, especially when you got like Volkanovski and Diego Lopez knocking about. I was going to suggest maybe Volkanovski, but I feel like they're going to make Volkanovski and Diego Lopez. But let's just talk about Volkanovski anyway and Sean O'Malley. Cool fight. Both big names. Suppose it would make a bit of sense, but I feel like they are just going to go with Volkanovski and Diego Lopez. You know, Lopez has saved the UFC a couple of times now. I feel like they're going to pay him back for it and give him a big fight against Volkanovski. Volkanovski said he is interested and would actually do it against Diego Lopez. So I can see that fight actually happening. But those are the fights that I've listed potential opponents for 145 and for 135. Overall, I think the best choice at 135 would be Henry Cejudo, and the best choice at 145 would be the loser of Max and Ilia. Maybe it wouldn't be that fair, but I'm just thinking name value wise, you know, again, how much the UFC really wants O'Malley to be a star. I feel like a fight against either Ilia or Max would just be an a massive fight. So it makes a lot of sense if he was to move up to 145 and do that fight. But who knows what they would like to do. Maybe if he went up to 145, they would like to take care of him like we did in a sort of way in the 135 division. You know, it was a very long process with Owen Maliwedo, giving him, you know, not so great names, and then just chucked him straight into the deep end. Maybe they'll make him fight someone else in the 145 division and then chuck him straight in the deep end. Who knows? But those are the fights I'd like. Those are the fights what I think would be best for him if he goes to 135 or 145. Let me know what you guys think. Who do you want to see Sean O'Malley fight next, and what do you think would be the best career path for him to take? Thank you for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one.